My name is Donna Hartman. I am your president of the National Kitchen and Bath Association, the Southern California chapter. I'm very honored to be here tonight in front of this esteemed panel that we have for you. I do have just a few announcements for NKBA. I do have team members here. Don't know where they are. Probably still at the front desk. But we're all here for you. We volunteer, and we couldn't be happier to presenting this great facility to you tonight. For those of you that are here that are not members, there is some information if you're interested in becoming a member at the check-in desk. So if you want to check that out. Oh, here we have B, our communications chair. We have Julie, who does our programs, and somewhere floating around here is Ali, who does our secretary-treasurer. She collects the money. Our membership chair is not here this evening. But we do have information, so if you are interested, just grab one of us and we'll pass it along to you. We did want to mention, NKBA is super proud of to be involved in this community. And one of the big highlights that we have every year is our Design Awards Gala. And my designers in the room know about this. Some of you might not. But if you don't, we have submissions for kitchen and bath that's open to submit your most beautiful project by September 1st. Then after you submit, we have the most a long-awaited event of the year. We put a lot of effort into it. It's very elevated. We have our design gala, our awards ceremony, and this year it's at Lido House on October 16th. So we hope that we see you there. Designers, we hope we see some of your submissions. And then finally, we have sponsorships available, because without our industry partners, we couldn't do this. So if you have any inclination and you want to become part of the sponsorship, we do have information at the front registration, a sponsorship deck, or just grab one of the council members and we'll give you some additional information. So now I have the pleasure of turning the mic over to Will and Amir, who are going to talk to you a little bit about what to expect this evening. We hope that you enjoy some great food, lots of drink, and good conversation. So for now, please let me introduce Will and Amir.
Hi guys, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Amir Debazorgi. I'm one of the founders of Stone Creation.
My name is Will. I'm the other founder of Stone Creation.
Thank you all for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Thank you to NKBA for allowing us to host this event. The title of the event and the theme of the event is Beyond the Surface. So the goal here is to really talk about everything behind the scenes as far as stone fabrication, construction, design, and all the above. Everything that basically creates the final product that Paul Lovely sells. With that being said, the point of this panel, separate of that, is going to be, we're going to have a little spiel. Everyone's going to talk a little about their sector, what they know best, and what they see fit. But at the end of this, we're going to open it up to a Q&A, and we really want it to be interactive. So if you can, hold all the comments, hold all the questions towards the end of it. It shouldn't take too long, but the goal is really to get interactive. Just to put that into perspective, who do we have up on stage? Obviously, Will and I. Everyone knows Donna. We have Paul Daftarian from the Daftarian Group. He's, to say the least about him, he handles all the premier sales in Orange County, or most of the premier sales in Orange County. He's a broker, has his own broker group, been doing it for a while. And what I learned is he comes from the mortgage side as well as the flip side and all above, and now you handle this for everyone else. So he brings a different aspect to the conversation and to the panel. Obviously, everyone knows Donna, and then we have Danny Wang here. Danny Wang, to say the least about him, is a design build firm, does a lot of design build all across the nation, and I believe internationally, if I'm not mistaken, or whatnot. Danny has a specialty, obviously, in marketing. Separate of marketing, what I've learned about him recently is he has a lot of AI that he does as well. So what I've asked him to speak about today is a little about the AI and a little about the marketing. But obviously, any questions are out there for everyone to take. with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Will.
So when we kind of wanted to talk about, what's beyond the surface when we're looking at stone, us as fabricators, we work with, yeah, let's sit down. Let's actually use these couches. So, as I was kind of saying, one of the things that we work with stone every single day, we work with designers, we work with, architects, we work with contractors, and when we look at behind this or beyond the surface, what we always kind of talk about with designers is let's challenge your fabricator. So a lot of times when we talk about stone or fabrication, we think about countertops, we think about waterfalls, we think about backsplash, we think about kind of all the kind of the basic stuff when it comes to stone. When we say challenge your fabricator, what I mean by that is that there's so much more. Even with those basic things that we think that basic things, there's some other stuff that we can do. For example, like on a waterfall panel, we can do a different design to challenge that fabricator. And don't create your designs based on your fabricator's capability. Really create a design and then talk to your fabricator, bring your fabricator as part of the design process, and have them kind of help you build that design, help you kind of put these things together. So that's kind of one of the things. So bring your crazy ideas out there and let's see how we can build them up. And that's one of the things that Amir and I, when we built the business, we built it really around that concept, is how can we differentiate ourselves, but more importantly, how can we partner with our designers and all other people in the industry. So that's why we invested heavily in our machinery, invested heavily in bringing in a team with the skill sets to basically challenge the ordinary. Look at, we were trying to show some things over there on the TV, but some of the projects that we've had are, we were brought in by contractors and designers to say, we have this build, this crazy build, how can we make it happen? This is one of the things that we've done. We were able to leverage technology in it as well.
With that being said, just want to talk a little bit. I'm sure everyone knows about the stone fabrication process, but we're going to talk about our process, what we do, and how we do it differently. Number one, I don't know how many stone fabrication shops anyone's been to, but one of our reps in here, Jesse, mentioned it to us before that you walk into a stone fabrication shop, you don't believe that you could sit there, have a panel, have a discussion, and not get full of dust. That's one thing that Will and I pride ourselves on. Separate of Will and I, it's all our team. There's a couple of our team members over there in the back, Samantha, Katie from before, and Ciara. I know Edgar and Vaj are over here somewhere walking around as well. But it's really done by the team, and it's done by technology and trying to maintain that clean facility to be a different type of shop than what most people think of or what the thought process of that is. So that's one thing that sets us apart. I know Paul over here on the panel asked me, from your perspective, what makes you different? It's the technology, all that is there, yes, but more importantly than anything else is the cleanliness that goes with it. So with that being said, from the stone fabrication process, obviously everyone knows we have templating. After templating, we go into our fabrication packet that we send out, and we'll touch up a little bit about that. After that, we go into our actual cutting phase, which is over there on the big machine in the back in the corner. That is a water jet saw combo. It's able to do logos, which is one of the prizes we have later on today. It's able to do logos or anything that you see. One of the projects that are different that you don't usually see would be the map over there on the side wall where the charcuterie board is. That's basically a map of the freeway system in Orange County, and that was done on that machine. The capability is to be able to see that, cut it at a miter, get those very sharp, acute angles on there. It's not easy to be done, and you can't really do it all around, but that's one thing that we wanted to show when we built up the shop. So we cut it on there, then we go to fabrication, and then we also, in fabrication, we have our router that handles basically a lot of it takes a lot of the manpower out of it, and it allows all the computer systems to be able to do everything itself. So your OG edge, your bullnose edge, standard edge details are mainly done on that router. We can also do custom edge details on that by making specialty tools. It helps with the precision. It helps with the, obviously the precision, the standard And when I say standard, it's the consistency throughout on those edge details or whatnot. And that's really that machine over here on the right, on my right or your left with that. From there, obviously, we go through installation, little spiel about installation, what we do differently. Pooja is here from Cosentino. If you want to talk about Cosentino a little bit and what their recommendation is on how to install porcelain inside or outside, Will and I like to take stuff a little further. We like to do what's best. Your clients, Paul, your clients, Danny, you and I went through this when we did the model homes over here for the builder, I forgot, Brookfield or whatnot. How do we do things differently? Some contractors don't like it. Some designers honestly don't like it. But what it means is porcelain. How do you install porcelain on the outside? You need a cementitious substrate. We install it with thinset and we move on. You ask Pooja, you ask Cosentino, you don't need that. You could do it just with caulking, dabs of caulking, and do it on the inside and move on. But if you're going to ask what's going to withstand the test of time, what's better, one thing that we do differently is, doesn't matter, we do it with thinset. Extra costs, extra time for us. We don't have a different charge for it. It's just included, and that's what we do. That's what makes us better. If you read the quotes up at the top, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, it's a habit. I can't teach my crew to be, and Samantha's over there looking at me, and so is Katie. I can't teach my crew to, with the flip of a switch, come and do stuff the right way, then do it the wrong way for someone else. It doesn't work. We are what we repeatedly do, right? Therefore, we're always going to do it the right way each and every time. That's what sets us apart. That's another thing that sets us apart.
The one other thing that I would mention, kind of going back to the, kind of taking the designer's perspective and making stone fun and making stone different and really being creative with stone. What we're seeing a lot out there right now is embedding technology and using technology as part of stone. So there's two elements to that. One element, obviously, on the fabrication side with what you see here and what you see beside me. This is one of our machines that allows you, the designer, and maybe working with the homeowner to envision your project and get that 3D rendering and augmented reality. So you can actually place, if you're working on a facade, for example, you can actually see it, or a fireplace. You can put it in your room and see it. But on the other side, from the designer's perspective, as you're having your conversations with your designers, is, like, for example, right now we're seeing a lot of the induction cooktops. That is a phenomenal addition to any stone project. There's your under countertop free power chargers, for example. That's a phenomenal option. This is something that we sell a lot of just because we're having the right conversations with our customers. And it is really great, kind of eliminates the clutter, and it has a lot of other advantages. One other thing, like pop-out outlets, or there's like new designs for outlets that kind of make things sleeker, nicer, and cleaner. But again, it's kind of thinking about these things and kind of getting out of the standard countertop or stone projects. The other thing I would mention as well, and this is something that we've kind of looked at in all our projects, how can you make stone part of the architecture? How can you build it? So again, for example, like we're doing a lot of integrated sinks right now. We're doing a lot of floating sinks. We've worked on a project not too long ago where it took us 4 slabs, for example, to install on a floating fireplace. That was backlit, which wasn't easy at all. But to my point earlier is when you bring out those crazy ideas and you challenge your fabricator, you work with your fabricator and allow them to help you come up with the perfect way to do this because they understand stone, you can make wonders with kind of what you're working with.
With that being said, I'd like to turn the mic over to Danny Wang.
My name is Danny Wang. I do design and build projects pretty much now everywhere in the world. I guess today I'm here to talk about a little about AI. I mean, just show of hands, how many people actually use AI for their business? Okay, so about 30%. So earlier this year, I started learning how to use AI for my business, and a lot of people think AI is going to replace your job, but really, I don't think so. What I use AI for is a lot of redundant tasks for people that, because we do a lot of design, so we want to be creative, but a lot of times, if you guys do design as well, you know that you're dealing a lot with paperwork, looking for materials, all the tedious work that you have your design assistant or whoever does, right? It just takes a lot let's say if we break it down to 100%, I'm probably only using 2% of my brain to design, and then 98% dealing with busy stuff, right? So this year with AI, what we implemented and built out was a lot of essentially roles that help us. So without going into too much detail, so pretty much I built, some tools that we built with AI for our business is, like a brain. Because we do so many projects, not everybody could keep track of what, let's say this project we use this material, where we bought it from. So what I started using it is, okay, now the AI has access to all my emails, all my text messages, pretty much anything about our projects. And what it could do is now you have this comprehensive, what we call a brain, right? So now it knows every single project I ever uploaded, and it knows all the details. So it just takes a lot of this, the boring, redundant task from your daily, creativity, right? So then now it's like, okay, now I have probably 30% or 40% of time spending on doing creative stuff versus just doing, answer emails, looking for materials, shopping for pricing, things like that. So that's what I'm using AI for a lot.
Danny, that was actually pretty cool. I remember about a month ago,
Yeah.
you and I were sitting across each other at a coffee shop,
Yep.
and you asked me about a material we used on a project,
Yep.
and I had to go through my back office system, talk to some of my assistants, and and talk to some of the team members and say, what is it? And I had to pull it up, and it took me, 5, 10, 15 minutes to wait for answers.
Yep.
But right there, you just typed in your bot. I think
Yeah.
you said you built it out with Claude.
Yep.
And you're saying right now you have it linked to your email and to your text messages. You just typed in, hey, this project, what material did I use? Within seconds, it popped up what you used and how many slabs and what it was and all the above.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually pretty cool. How long did it take you to build that platform?
So it didn't take that long, right? But obviously, I've been in business for 20 years, so I know how to. It's almost like training an employee, right? You just have to train it. It took me probably just guesstimate maybe 120 hours.
120 consecutive hours?
No, I mean,
Just got to put that out there.
yeah, because I built it probably within a week, and then just every day programming, teaching it, training it, because it has all my data, right? So let's say this is how crazy it is. I uploaded all my Slack messages, which is probably, I think was at the time with like 80-something thousand messages, right? It read it within like 3 minutes. So like a physical human can't do that. I mean, it will take them a very long time and also memorize it.
I mean,
But, yeah.
our team members know, like you say Slack and you say humans can't process that quickly. So we have a team, I don't know what everyone knows about Stone Creation, but we have a team obviously here. We also have a team overseas that we employ that are actively sitting behind a computer of 3, 4 individuals, and they're our go-to for all that. Basically what you're telling me is that AI could replace them?
Not replace them. It will allow them to do more creative things, right? So like now at my firm, technically I don't need design assistants anymore or design interns. I could just hire, like let's say if someone comes to my firm, they could just become like an associate designer, or they don't have to go through the process of learning all the materials, all that stuff, because now essentially I taught my AI to teach it. So let's say a person that has no knowledge, they could actually just ask how I do things, and then it will break it down for them.
Got it.
It's pretty impressive, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's something that you're going to have to teach me how to do that, because that would be amazing to just even help the team more so than anything.
Yeah, and even rendering, a lot of people here are interior designers. So even rendering, before it would take us, I don't know, like 2 days to render. Now I could do it in 5 minutes.
Guilty. I don't know if B knows or Donna knows, but to help put together the flyer that we did, I did use ChatGPT. Do you use ChatGPT for that?
Yeah, I use all the AI models, right? Because they all have their strengths and they have their weaknesses. But just things like that where before we had to employ someone to sit there and render, and we had to wait, 3 hours, 4 hours for the videos to render, and now we could do it in, 30 minutes.
That's phenomenal.
Yep.
That's phenomenal.
Yep.
Aside from any other benefits of AI that you could kind of touch up on? I mean, it sounds like you haven't been using it that long, but you've been using it long enough.
Yeah. There's tons of benefits. I think what I'll lead to is probably let people ask me questions because I don't know
Perfect.
where their questions are. Yeah.
Can you touch up a little on marketing? Because separate of
Yeah.
the AI factor, obviously you've built a brand for yourself. I don't know how many thousands or millions of followers you have, but you've built something for yourself and a presence online.
Yeah.
So can you touch a little about marketing and how you did that and how long it took?
Yeah, so social media, I started doing social media about, God, probably like 7 or 8 years ago. And this is just one of the things that I'm playing with, screwing around. And what I realized was social media is a platform for you to showcase your work, right? So everybody talks about, hey, I want more referral business. The truth is, not every referral is a good referral, right? Like I'm pretty sure there's people that you guys got referral. It's just like, okay, they're not really your ideal client, but because of referral, you take it on, right? So that's how I started. But with social media, marketing, that kind of stuff is, you are essentially attracting, it's not like Tinder, but it's pretty much a platform where you showcase your work, and now you're attracting your target audience versus, hey, my friend, just bought a house, they want to do this, right? That friend might not be my ideal client, but people take it on because initially that's like, you don't have people coming in to hire you specifically for what you do, right?
How much of your current workload comes from your social media and your marketing? And is it only Instagram or is it YouTube? What is it exactly?
So I do Instagram. So I started with Instagram, and then I hopped onto doing TikTok to edit videos, and then I do some YouTube, but not a lot, just because I can't keep up with all the stuff that comes in. But yeah, majority is probably Instagram. I would say right now, currently, probably 95%.
Comes from social media?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so you and I have to talk more because I know Stone Creation was established and our first slab was cut in November of 2024.
Yep.
And I think we have 700 followers. Yeah. we got work to do to get there.
It's definitely a grind. I mean, you just have to grind it out, consistent. So the tip that I give everybody that asks me how to do social media is, you sit there, you have to make 100 posts. If you can't even make 100 posts, I don't even give further advice, because that's the hardest part, is making 100 posts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the grind.
100%. Our social media manager is here. Cheyon's all the way in the back. Hats off to Cheyon. Kudos. Do you have 100 posts ready for us? I know. The problem is us. Yeah. But you're 100% correct. I mean, just putting together posts and getting ideas and
just doing it is half of the battle. Right?
I'll tell you, one of the blocks that Will and I have is, we put something together and we think this is corny or it's stupid or like, is this going to get content? Like, it's hard figuring that out. Like,
that's why I always tell people to do 100 posts, right? Because even stuff I did, I didn't know it was going to go viral. It goes viral. So what that 100 posts is, once you do 100 posts, you'll kind of have an idea of what sticks with your audience and what doesn't. Yeah.
Got it.
So that's kind of because no one could predict the trends and ups and downs. But if you do consistency, that's usually the hardest thing for people to start, is being consistent.
Thank you, Danny. I'll tell you this much about Danny. In the industry, coming from the construction industry and coming from the stone fabrication side, many people don't have their doors open. Many people hide secrets and don't want to give you, and they don't want to see you succeed because they look at you as competition. Mm-hmm. Danny, you were not that. From the moment I met you,
I don't care.
You're an open book.
Yeah.
You have from what I've gotten from you is you're an open book. You're willing to share secrets and willing to share everything. And there's no real secret. It's like, as long as you do better, I could do better. And there's a lot of fish out there in the sea. I know right now we have a group of interior designers, and I don't know how it is in the design world because I just help you guys. I'm not a designer myself. But the most important part of this and taking advantage of this right now and you being here is when I reach out to you and I said, hey, Danny, would you mind? And you're like, yeah, I'll do it anytime, 100%. It wasn't even a question, wasn't anything. Same goes with Paul and same goes with Donna. I know all of you did that. So thank you for always being an open book and always helping us. I appreciate that.
Yep. No problem.
Of course. And questions, he'll take questions at the end if there's questions, goals. I hope this helped a little bit and gave insight to it, at least at the beginning, to get the juices flowing. And we'll definitely have questions for you, I'm sure, at the end of the panel.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Danny. With that being said, I'm going to give the mic over to Paul, and Paul, take it. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so far really informative stuff. I've been a big fan of Danny's from about 7-8 years ago. Just saw the craziest pools and really kind of pushing the envelope on backyards, and now it's obviously all over my feed on all the different social media platforms. So thanks for always putting out the content. I'm Paul Daftarian. I own the Daftarian Group, Lux Real Estate. We're a small boutique real estate brokerage and based out of Corona Del Mar, California. Grew up in Orange County since I was 2. Grew up in North Orange County in Anaheim Hills, and really saw a big transformation of the county from 1979 when I got here, and really started paying attention in the late 80s, early 90s. My parents moved around. They remodeled some homes. They were very into furniture, drapes at the time, antique furniture, and the thing that really dawned on me was that a house is nothing without design. A house is nothing without interior design, and a house is nothing without a feeling that it gives you. I mean, that's really what we're trying to capture, that lightning in a bottle, as a realtor to sell it. My team, the reason why my co-founder and I, when we started this brokerage, instead of having to go and just make it easy and work for a big box brokerages, we felt there was a void in the marketplace, which, coming back from flipping homes and about 18 years in the mortgage business, dealing with thousands of real estate transactions, we felt that people that were thinking of selling and buying or moving couldn't predict the future. And that unpredictability created a level of anxiety that was crippling for many people. If you look at any stat nationally, people that want to sell their home rank the discomfort or the level of, like basically where it ranks with the fears, it's second to death. And I want you to really let that sink in for a second. I remember when I grew up in Anaheim Hills, people would just keep on remodeling their homes just not to move because you had a lot of land. It's kind of why we targeted areas like Newport Coast or tract home areas, because the builders already maxed out your FAR or whatever it was, right? So you had to move up in certain scales. But my point is that we wanted to provide a solution in the marketplace, which was understanding the entire process from cradle to grave when you want to list a house, move to the new one, and have your first family dinner or have a barbecue or swim in the pool, whatever it might be. So we've really been kind of a real estate consulting firm, as it, I think, lends itself to the process of listing and selling and buying and leasing. What I've been able to do as one person is very little. The reason why we're as successful as we are is because of my team. I mean, a lot of them are here, about half of them scattered throughout the group here. And everybody, excuse me, has the same mentality, which is really to provide a high level of service, because we are selling air, right? When you do interior design work or you design something, or you fabricate something, there's a finished product to gauge. When we finish our process, people are always like, how did that make me feel, right? And that's really dependent on the person. Our business is more psychology and sales than it is having to do with homes, but I think what we're able to do is take a stressful process, predict problems, solve them before they become an issue, and really, obviously, people hire us mainly. Our moniker is 6-star service for record-setting results. Everybody knows that Persians, we love to negotiate. So we like to get more money for our clients' homes, sell them faster, and then put them in their dream home. And it used to be putting them in their dream home for less money. But because the market's so hot, we pivoted and we started telling people that it was really about getting the right home sooner, because the price appreciation was happening so quickly that shopping around, I mean, a lot of my team members have clients that really missed the boat right after COVID. And, homes that were 2.5 million are 7 million now, 5-6 years later. Port Street homes in Newport Beach are trading at $12 million. When we started our business, you could buy a nice move-in ready home for $3.5 million, which was about 14 years ago. The appreciation that the market has seen all over Orange County, but specifically coastal Orange County, has lent itself now to why we're sitting here, so that people can finally spend money on good architects, good designers, good contractors, good fabricators, good subs, good millwork. And what you're seeing now with these sales, I'm sure everybody heard that a buyer paid $110 million for a residential property in Laguna Beach at 20 Emerald Bay. And those are prices that are really associated with, Miami, penthouses in, obviously New York, mega mansions in LA. Homes have not hit those numbers ever in Orange County. And that happened this year, and then things kind of followed up with an immediate sale at 3512 Ocean Boulevard in Corona del Mar. Did anyone see that house in person, by the way, here? Right? Yeah, you guys all did. You could raise your hand, too. Did you guys have a chance to see that house?
I did not.
I got to tell you, it was a master class in design element from front of the street, the curb, all the way to the garage. I mean, lowering elevator from the garage down to the man cave, exposing a $3.5 million hypercar, a basement that was as entertaining as the level with the ocean views. And I love seeing things like that because you're pushing the envelope of what can be done in Orange County, what people will pay for. And what people don't realize is that if homes sell for 40, 50, 60, 70, $100 million, then guess what? It's going to have an impact on Irvine, Lake Forest, Tustin, Anaheim, because it's going to trickle down. And the amount of wealth that's moving to Orange County is allowing designers and stone people and everybody that's sitting here to get paid well, to not get grinded. I mean, look, our business, nobody grinds fees harder than the buyers and sellers with realtors. They think we make too much money. We just do some talking, show up in a nice car, just put the open house sign and the house sells itself, obviously. So we have to defend our value, but a lot of times we're recommending and really referring a lot of tradespeople like yourselves, designers, architects, contractors, subs, because we want the home to be turnkey. And what I really want people to understand is that we are really the translator from the end user, the buyer, which is really what matters whenever you're selling anything, to the people redesigning, remodeling, or building a house. So a lot of times people walk us into a project at the end. They like to take the cape off the house and go, look at how great this is. And a lot of times we like, hey, you did a fantastic job. A lot of times we might say, you completely missed the mark. You made like a nightclub in an area that's like a bedroom community in Newport Beach or Dana Point or wherever. And, like this Patagonia stone behind me is not going to work in a kitchen island in a lot of areas, right? It definitely won't work in Bay Shores. It might work in Newport Coast, right? So you got to understand the target audience. What my team does, I think, better than anybody is have a high EQ level to be able to tell somebody when they're remodeling their dream home. I can't tell you how many times someone has said, I'm going to die in this house. I'm never going to sell it. And then next year they call me, they go, man, we're going to sell the house, Paul. And I'm like, that's cool. You made everything purple leather in your house. We're going to have to redo it. And, coming from a background of flipping or just selling as many homes as we have, being a realtor in Orange County is like basically having a parent that's Persian. All they do is tell you what's wrong, right? So they only tell you what they hate. They only tell you what you did wrong. They only tell you what could be better. And we try to tell people before they start demoing and designing that this is what the audience wants. Because guess what? Your house, it's an asset, right? If you want to sell it one day, it should look the part and not age. And I think the exciting part about being in our position is we get to give a lot of really what is free advice, but later it pays itself forward to us because when we take that house on for sale, it doesn't have a lot of problems, right? Like I remember we had a 10,000 square foot house in the Pelicans once. It was a 3-bedroom house. Not a lot of people are buying 10,000 square foot 3 bedrooms, right? So like, look, I remember when I was a kid, when you went to areas like Harbor Ridge or Bear Brand, people built the homes exactly for their needs. If they were Mormon, there was no bar. If they had no kids when they built the house, there was no bonus room, play area, kind of, outdoor, kids area. Now people that don't drink build bars. They hate watching movies, they build theaters. They have one car, they build 10-car garages because people know that when you're buying something, we just sold a house last week that the person paid about $14 million for it 6 years ago. We just sold it for about $34 million almost. That is a big gain. That's more than they made on their portfolio. It's more than they made at their job. That's more than they made in every aspect of their business. So when people, again, tell us my house is perfect. I want people to have imagination. I want you to understand buyers do not have any imagination.
Paul, you mentioned you're a small boutique firm. $34 million doesn't sound too small if you ask me.
Well, listen, we're like the Navy SEALs, right? We don't need 100 agents. Our whole team's about 20-some agents.
Got
Our real goal is to be the first team in Orange County to do $1 billion in sales in a calendar year. This year, I think we're at about 645 million.
Amazing.
Closed.
Bravo.
Last year, again, this is all the team. I'm just here speaking on behalf of everybody, but we sold the 3 most expensive homes in Orange County, first, second, and third in the county rankings. And this year, we've sold the most number of gross total sales as we sit here today. And I'll tell you, the main reason is because we will go to our sellers and we'll say, why don't you go eat lunch at RH? And why don't you tell me how that store looks compared to the way Z Gallery looked in Fashion Island 8 years ago? Yeah. Your home looks like Z Gallery. People want to buy RH.
Paul, you've mentioned you really start at the beginning of the process sometimes. I know you've sold clients homes that want to remodel it, look for designers, look for contractors, and you've brought me in as a stone fabricator or whatnot before to kind of help out. So you see it at the beginning of it. You also see it at the tail end of it, if I'm not mistaken, where they're done, they're ready to sell it, they've remodeled it maybe last year or the year prior, like you said. So you've seen both the beginning and the end and everything in the middle because you were also a flipper and you also have done a lot of projects yourself. So you mentioned a good interior designer and a good contractor, right? What does that mean to you? And then talk a little about the feelings. What part of the home, like for the designers here and for the contractors and for us, what part of the home makes someone feel good? Is it the pop-out outlets that Will mentioned? Or is it the hypercore? Or is it something that we could do that is actually, what is it?
Look, I have lived in almost everywhere in Orange County. I lived on the lake, off Lake Forest, off Geronimo. I lived in Ladera Ranch. I grew up in North Orange County. I've lived in Laguna. I've lived in 10 different neighborhoods in Newport Coast. I've lived on the other side of the bay. I've lived everywhere but Huntington Beach, just because it was far from everything, and I don't want to get into why, but anyways. Nothing against HP. But the point is, you got to understand, like this is a connected group of suburbs. This is not Miami. Not everybody's moving. This is normally a move-up community, right? Like you lived somewhere when you were single, then you lived somewhere when you were married, then you moved somewhere when you had a kid.
Right.
Then you needed more space, right? So you moved, and really in Orange County, more than anywhere, people are buying a neighborhood first and then the house.
Yep.
So it's not that hard to figure out when you exit the house and you leave onto your next property, you could probably profile within an 80% chance of who's going to buy your house. So then you can kind of say, how many bedrooms do you need? Like, do you need to, like today, people's, I think, tastes, I think the biggest change, besides an open concept, is a primary closet. Or, listen, we still say master bedroom. That's why I have my own brokerage. But, you know, a master bedroom closet and having, like, for example, you get to a certain size home, like there's a 15,000 square foot home in Crystal Cove. When you go to the master bedroom, there's one water closet. There's one toilet.
Wow.
That seems like a miss.
Yeah, for
right?
a 15,000 square foot home, I would expect there to probably be 2.
Yeah, so I think there's certain things you know that people want. You know, I think homes have turned into fashion. Things are moving fast. Social media, people see Danny's pools, and they're like, I want this big of a pool. I want to have like my whole party outside instead of inside.
Yeah.
Right, so you can kind of predict what the future is going to look like. But
Well, Paul, I know...
I wanted to answer your question.
Yeah.
You know, I think when you have an understanding of who you're dealing with, right? Danny mentioned maybe when my friend referred me their friend that just bought a house in Great Park for $2 million, probably not going to be his client.
Right.
Right? So with marketing and targeting your audience and doing different things, you can kind of pair up people with the right clientele. And it's the same thing with interior designers, with architects. Like I'm walking a house tomorrow in Crystal Cove with somebody. I'm not going to mention the architect's name. I know the person that wants to interview the architect's not going to pay their fee.
Right.
You're paying for a track record, right? So I wouldn't probably bring you as the stone person because
Right.
they want to pay like Home Depot prices.
Right.
Right? So I think it's having the wherewithal to understand how you can match up good people where they're going to have a happy finish.
That's probably a good segue for Donna. I have a question for you before you start, if I may. question I have with you is what Paul just mentioned is not every architect is everyone's customer. Not every customer is an architect's customer, right? Same with designers, right? I'm assuming you interview your customers and you make sure that they're a good match for your style or whatnot, right? So go for it, the floor is yours.
Absolutely, and the important part of that, I think, is it's important to understand it's okay to say no. If it's not your ideal client, we all have been there. We do, as much as they bring us into their home and they think they're interviewing us, we are interviewing them to make sure that we can produce what they're looking to us to produce and to design for them, and it's okay to say no if it's not the right fit.
I know that's one of the hardest things for Will and I to do.
It is very hard. It's very hard, isn't it? How many of you, the first time you ever had to walk away, it was, you remembered that time when you had to walk away. But anyway, I'm going to keep it short and simple because I want to have time for questions. So my role, as I thought about being on this panel, I did a little research that kind of matched my philosophy, and it really relates to designing what it takes to design luxury behind the scenes. We all talked about fabrication and wonderful pools and real estate, but it's not just about those pretty pictures at the end, right? It's not all about the pretty. It's how we got to those professional photos that we all seek, right? So that's what, it's our process. It's how we get there to get those pretty photos. It's all of the planning that we all do together to make it work, that we all share the same vision. It's the planning, it's the budgeting, it's the specifying. It's all those things that get us to the end result, which is the pretty. And as I did a little research on this, what's important to all of us, and to me especially, I think for luxury design, it's all about the client experience. Because let's face it, they all hire us for our creative design, but they'll all remember us for an extravagant, fabulous, seamless experience at the end of the day. So I think that resonated with me, and I think getting to create the beautiful things that we do, it's not just about the space, it's everything that we put in it behind the scenes. And sometimes we talk about trying to bring your value to people, your clients. It's not an easy thing to do as a designer. They question, they want to know. So you have to be prepared for that. You have to understand your process, what you're bringing to the table. And there were some really good quotes that I wanted to share with you. And one of them was, luxury is not just what you see, it's everything your clients never had to worry about. Right? That's luxury design. These resonated with me when I just did a little research. Maybe I used ChatGPT. Let's see. The prettier the finished photos look, the less you can see how much work went into creating it. Because it's all behind the scenes. It's what we do. It's the magic that we bring to the table to all these products, so that somebody like this gentleman can sell these fabulous homes. They can fabricate a fabulous product. Danny can create magic with his pools, and I'm sure way beyond that. So to me, it's all about the process and what we bring to it. It's all about that client experience. So at this time, I think it's important that we all recognize that. I want to thank everybody for your insights. I think it's been fabulous to learn, and we'd like to open it up for some questions. We talked about AI and marketing. We talked about their process. Everybody, if you have a question, let us know. We're here for you to answer any questions that you might have. Grab yourself another cocktail, stay for the door prizes at the end, but we're here for you. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Any questions?
Hey guys, First of all, thank you all for sharing your insights. It was very informative. I wanted to direct my question to the stone creation gentleman. Are you guys finding the trends leaning more towards using stone on the exterior facade of homes these days?
So yes, definitely. We're seeing a lot of that happen right now. We've done a couple of projects just in the past couple of months to use it on the exterior. I can tell you one of the things that we're noticing as well with today's clientele is that they're a lot more educated. We spoke about ChatGPT, we spoke about kind of doing the research using AI. So we're seeing today's customer, they know a lot more about stone, or at least, you know, they come in with a little bit of knowledge, a lot of research that they've done. So they actually come out with some of these kind of creative ideas on what to do with their fabrication projects. So yes, we've been seeing a lot of that come in, and yeah, there's a lot of exterior use of stone for sure.
Thank you. And just to add to that.
So just to kind of, that's a good point that Paul brings up. So obviously you can't use any type of stone on the exterior, so you have to really understand the stone, how it reacts, especially under the sunlight. So for example, you cannot put quartz outside, whether it's on, you know, as a facade or, you know, barbecue top, you cannot do that. So you gotta go either with more durable product that can withstand the heat of California. So you go with, like, for example, any porcelains, or we've done also a lot of, you know, limestones, which are a little bit lighter and they can withstand the test of time, if you will.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course you got. Yeah, of course.
Sorry, I've got a question, just because there's this debate, obviously, about what luxury really looks like, and we go into a lot of these homes, and we're seeing porcelain in, you know, homes that are, you know, outrageously expensive, right, compared to an entry-level price point, and then we go in, and some people are like purists, they say I need to have natural stone. Like, where's your opinion when you guys do your own property? And I know it's going to depend on if there's kids living in the house or whatever, but I want to hear your guys' take on what really is more luxurious and high-end, and, you know, what do you prefer personally when you're looking at these projects? Porcelain, obviously we're not going to talk about quartz, or obviously man-made stone. And then what's your thoughts on durability of like quartzite versus marble?
Are you looking for something that's gonna look new forever? If so, you stick with your porcelains. Are you looking something that's maybe like a Louis Vuitton handbag, where, you know, the handle wears a little bit and it shows over the test of time, but that's the luxury part of it, and that's what people like about it. If you want that, then you go more with your quartzites. It's really what the end goal is. So, like, at Stone Creation, we all talk about experience and what it is. I know one thing that we do, and Samantha, our newest team member that comes from a different background, we always say, talk to the client. I'm sure you guys as interior designers, you guys do this. You talk to them, you see what their wants are, what their desires are, and how do they live their life? Do they have children? Do their children mark the walls? Do they want something that's easy to clean, or do they want something that wears a little bit and it looks beauty over time? You know, we age like fine wine. If it's something like that, you go more with the quartzites. So it just depends. Talking people out of, the question was if we would talk people out of marbles for kitchens and bathrooms. No, not necessarily. Depends. If it's in the kitchen, if they have a prep kitchen, do marble in the regular kitchen, and maybe do a porcelain or a Decton or a neolith in the back kitchen, right? Depends what it is. Do they use a lot of spices? Do they spill wine? Do they entertain a lot? Are they worried about someone wiping after them? Do they want something, if it's a marble, are they open to sealing it depending on use every so often, every 3, 6 months, every 12 months? It depends on the client, so what it is. So when I hear a client, and I hear it multiple times, that I want something that's maintenance free, I don't want to have to do this, but I want it to look beautiful like this does over time, well, then you're probably sticking to a porcelain, right? If they say, no, I don't mind resealing, or if they say, I want the cost of it, I don't want the cost of it. So it just depends. We just hear them out. At least that's what I'm trained to do. That's what I've found success in. I believe Will has found success in. And that's what the team members and us, we always talk about. It just depends on the client, right? So that's the most important thing. When we talk about experience, you guys talk about experience, you guys talk about a luxury experience. What our intent is, and kind of what's been discussed a little bit here, is this is a team. We have our team in Stone Creation, but at the end of the day, our team is not Stone Creation only. Our team is the designer that we're working with. I saw Alicia walking around here earlier. I don't see her. There she is now. I know we just did a project together. It's really the designer and us. We're an extension of each other. Our goal at Stone Creation, yes, we may butt heads a little bit. Client doesn't need to see that, but it's because designer wants to borrow. It's like, oh, you could do it. You don't need to seal it. And it's like, well, you should. Or you don't need to install it that way. Okay, we don't have to, but you hired us for a reason. Let our expertise help you and let us train it. So really the team is us, our team, the designer, their team, the contractor and their team. And our goal is to, behind the scenes, be an asset for you. Like Will mentioned earlier, we want you guys to pick up the phone, dial our number, and that's something that Alicia and I talk about all the time. We have another project that we're coming up together on is, look, talk to me before you talk to the client, and before you offer that, just talk to me. And I may say, yeah, you're good, don't worry, go do it. Or I may say, well, there may be a better idea, right? It does. So my background is, just to put it out there, my background is development. I come from a different side of construction. I was a development, I used to hire contractors, and now I do it all myself. Will's background is he's been doing stone fabrication for 40 years. He lived and breathed it. He lived in 40 years, I mean, from birth. He lived and breathed it. He was breathing it in the placenta. Yes, 100%. He studied stone. I call him a stone maestro. He studied stone in Italy, did all that, right? But even him with his experience in stone, sometimes he comes to me and he's like, Amir, what do you think? And I'm like, you're the maestro, but if you must ask, right? And we weigh in. He's like, oh, that's a good idea. That's part of it. Danny Wang, you've been doing it for how long? 20 plus years, right? We did a project together, the Brookfield model homes that we discussed, and other projects, and you'd be like, hey, Amir, what are your thoughts? And you're like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do with that. And even sometimes he would come to us. I know Katie and Samantha, in working with designers, we really want to be an asset to you guys. We want to be in your back pocket. I don't want you, Will and I, Samantha, Katie, the team, Edgar, we want you guys to look at us as an asset. We want you guys to feel free to pick up the phone, dial our number, shoot us a text and say, hey guys, what do you think about this? This is what I want to do. Is it possible? Is it not? How can we do it? We, through this Patagonia, and that's part of one of the projects we were showing, it was a stone facade where we did, I think, 14 slabs on the exterior of a project in Big Canyon. And we stacked the whole front with a travertine porcelain from Infinity. And we also did a silver vein cut travertine natural stone on some columns where we redid them and scored them and created a design effect of it, right? The designer really was like, hey, Will, hey, Amir, what are your thoughts? Can we do this? It was a mission doing it. We put this Patagonia stone and we floated it in air with having it backlit. Now, when we install natural stones, if it's floating in the air, 20-foot high facade, kind of want to install it with thinset. How could we? We technically couldn't. So it required meeting of the minds. Our team members, our installer has been doing it for 20 years. Others have been doing it for a long time where they're like, when we were doing the wall with the map, we asked all our team members, we're like, hey, how do you suspect we do this? What's the best way of doing it? Well, installer had one idea, templater had another idea, sales reps had a different idea, Will had one idea, and I had another. Not one idea was good, the best idea was a compilation of all of them. So guys, meeting of the minds, right? Look at us as an asset. We want to be there for you and help you, whether you use us or don't use us. We're free of information like Danny is to us, like Paul, you have been to us and to your clients, and I'm sure all of you are for your clients. Don't look at us as another contractor or another subcontractor. Look at us as an asset. We want to be there to help you and help your visions come to life. Any other questions or, yep?
Sorry, I was told to stand. My question is for Danny. As an interior and exterior designer of all of the AI that you've explored, which do you think is the most accurate when it comes to renderings?
Which AI models more accurate for rendering? So this is what a lot of people don't understand about AI. AI is only as good as you, right? So let's say if you're really good at rendering, most of them are the same. It comes down to what you prompted. So like, let's say sometimes my staff will be, you can't just say, oh, let's render this image, right? You have to say, okay, let's render this image and what kind of camera, what kind of setting, what's your focal point on the camera, what's the setting for the sun, how is the environment. So you have to describe it, and it's not just okay, go render this image. So you have to kind of like an understanding of how to render to begin with to get the results that you want. I mean, it'll carry you to 70% there, and then the rest 30 you kind of have to. It's like a skill, yeah. So really, for simple sake, ChatGPT is pretty good, but there's other models that are even better, yeah.
Which models do you use?
We use ChatGPT, we use Nano Banana, again, just all sorts of different models, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, I know we have the raffle. There's, Donna, are you going to be handling it? Perfect.
Everybody got their tickets for the raffle?
Everybody have their tickets. Did anybody not get a ticket? Right over there, we got a couple hands up there. Get your tickets. We have some great raffle prizes. Oh, thank you.
Donna, while they're getting their tickets, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming, number one. Number two, I would also like to thank all the panelists, Danny, Wang, Paul Daftarian, and Donna, you yourself as well. Hi, thank you.
Let's give them a big round of applause, everybody. A lot of knowledge in this room between them and all of you. So thank everybody. I thank everyone for coming. It's been an incredible evening. Thank you for hosting.
Of course.
We appreciate you guys. Okay, everybody have their raffle tickets out. I'll start with, I know all the men in this room are dying for a yoga mat. Branded NKBA. So anyway, first prize will be for the yoga mat. Go ahead. Okay, get your tickets out. It goes to, the last four digits are 0308. No? No, no, no? It is 24407-0308. No? Let's do another. Okay, let's try. Last four digits are 0296. Whoa, yay! Oh, I'll have to tell Chris you won. Okay. So these other raffle prizes are from Stone Creations. They're pretty incredible. The first one, they're all gift certificates. And the first one is a water-jetted logo of your choosing on a 20 by 30 quartz piece.
So if you have, so if, for example, if you're for your design firm or really any logo, we can water jet it out of stone. So basically that's the idea. Pretty cool stuff. You can see an example of that inside the showroom. All right, we're reading this last four?
Yes.
All right, 0331. 0331. Going once, going twice. 0331. Is this coming? Hey! Perfect. 0331.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, so the next gift certificate from Stone Creations is a complimentary free power unit. You remember them talking about that during our conversation. With your next fabrication project with Stone Creation, you will get a free a complimentary free power unit.
So free power, for those of you that don't know it, most of you, I'm sure you do. It's the under countertop charger. It's a phenomenal option. So the number is 0335. 0335. Oh, V. There you go. Congrats, V. That's awesome. Yeah. So the last gift that we have here, also a gift certificate from Stone Creation. It's $1,000 off your next fabrication project with Stone Creation, which is pretty cool, I think.
Very cool.
All right. And the lucky winner is 0290. 0290. $1,000. Going once, twice, and sold. All right, let's pick.
Okay.
All right, it is 0338. 0338. Anybody? No? Going once? 0338. Twice? All right. No? All right, let's try this one. 0329. 0329. Wow. Did everybody leave? What happened? 0329. All right. Let's try. I guess nobody wants that $1,000.
This is the lucky one.
0287. 02. Hey! Woo! There we go. 0287. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. You got it. Thank you again, everybody. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you to the NKBA and to Donna. Thank you. Yep.
There's going to be music, drinks until 8:30, and then the food is still going on, I believe. So please mingle, enjoy, have a good time. Let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to come and introduce yourself.
By the way, the machines are running in the background, so feel free to go take a look. And if you have any questions, I'll be going around, Amir and I, and we'll answer any questions you have. Thank you.